All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Lonesome Crown, and The Blackest Heart. I think I held those up backwards. Anyway, you get it. All three of these books are published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today we're going to be reviewing Conan #3, Conan the Freebooter, by Robert E. Howard and L. Sprague de Camp. And so, I've got my whole Conan collection right here. I've got the 10 original Conan books. And we've also got 7 Conan books that were written by Robert Jordan, who wrote the Wheel of Time series here. So those are the only Conan books I've really collected, is the 10 original Robert E. Howard books put out by Ace in the 70s. And the 7 that were written by Robert Jordan. And that's probably all I'll ever collect. I don't think I'm going to get any more of them. There's hundreds and hundreds of Conan books. #3, The Freebooter. Let's talk about the cover first, because I love graphic design and cover illustration. This has got a great cover by Boris Vallejo. Now, most of my collection have covers by Frank Frazetta. This one is by Boris, and it's pretty dope. I mean, Boris is a great illustrator of his own right. I mean, he's got the big muscle-bound Conan with a bunch of pretty girls and a demon wrap-around cover. The only thing screwing this up is the barcode. Jeez. Otherwise, it would be like the perfect back. Why didn't they put the barcode up here? Whatever. They never consult me on these covers, They should have come to me whenever this was published. Well, I wouldn't have been born, but they still should have consulted me in the somewhere in the universe. I was probably my essence was probably floating around somewhere. They should have tapped into it. Anyway, this has inside. There's got a lot of inside illustrations that are really cool. I like those. There's a ton of them. So the book is really it's an awesome book. It's an awesome little book. Oh, well, I probably ought not show this illustration. You'll probably get me stricken from YouTube, but uh-oh. Yeah. Ah, man, I just demonetized that video. Okay, so Conan the Freebooter, book #3 in the series is, the thing I like about the Ace series of books is it kind of follows, it's a chronological storytelling of Conan's life. And so here we are in the Hyperion Age. Hyperion's an entire other universe written by an entire other author. We're talking about the Hyborian Age. By the way, that just made me think. I wonder if Dan Simmons' Hyperion was an homage to the Hyborian Age. I don't know. I just thought of that. Anyway, so, and it's an ancient medieval world with, king-sized portions of adventure, supernatural witchcraft, and pagan nonsensory, how the pagans and the witchcraft just created demons of all sort. Well, that's kind of the Hyborian Age that Conan is living in. It's a colorful. What's cool about this is Robert E. Howard, even though these books were written over 100 years ago, maybe not over 100, just about 100 years ago. He's created a colorful, seamlessly. It's just a seamlessly created fantasy world. And like I said, over 100 years ago, and it's just full of strong, swashbuckling men, a big, huge Conan-like guy. Well, it's Conan himself. What am I talking about? A big, huge Conan-like guy. No, Conan himself is actually in these books, folks. And he's just like this strong, swashbuckling, mercenary adventurer. And it's like, in this book, the women are beautiful, the villains are villains, the sorcerers are sorcerers. There's no philosophical meaning to any of the stories. There's no intellectual puzzle or mystery, a real deep and convoluted plot. It is just straight storytelling, action, adventure from start to finish. And that's just the style that Robert E. Howard was writing in, and it's great. And his prose is wonderful throughout. So this book is comprised of 5 stories. Chronological in Conan's life. The first one is Hawks. Gosh, what was that one? I didn't write it down. Hawks over Hawks over Shem. Hawks over Shem. And this one little story was Howard. If you've watched my previous reviews of books 1 and 2, you'll know where we left Conan. But this one was written in 1933, this little story, and Conan has wandered into the deserts of Stygia, and he's joined the army of the king Sumabai as a mercenary, has lots of adventures. Then we move to the Black Colossus, which was also written in 1933. This is more, just follows Conan as he does more mercenary work in these different armies and having more adventures and battles and things like that. This is a very war-centric book, probably the most war-centric of all the Conan novels, in that he just seems to bounce from one mercenary troop to the next and rises in rank in all of them pretty quickly. Then we get to the third story, Shadows in the Moonlight. By the way, I like that title, Shadows in the Moonlight. And this is an old Conan story that L. Sprague de Camp sort of edited and put together a little bit more coherently. But this is now Conan has turned 30 years old. He does not want to be, he doesn't want to play second fiddle to the queen. He's kind of fallen in love with this queen, and she is the ruler, and he doesn't want to be like the queen of the queen. So he's like, and he leaves, he rides off, in search of his homeland, right? He's like, I'm going to go back home. And so he has much more adventure as as a fighter, as he makes his way back to his ancestral home. And then we're on the Road of the Eagles. That is the fourth story, Road of the Eagles. He's now become a chieftain. In his adventures to get back home, he's become the chieftain of the Red Brotherhood. And he fights... He's kind of like a thorn in the side of one of the big kings in the land, King Yildir. I think it's Yildir or Yilor. I can't remember how this pronounced that. Well, I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong no matter what I'm doing. But anyway, he becomes kind of like a thorn in the side of this king and has a lot of adventures, things like that. And then Conan, then a witch shall be born is the final story in the series, where Conan attempts to win the command of the King's Guard in a different realm, not the queen, in the Queen's Guard, not the queen, not in the King's Guard, but the Queen's Guard, not the queen that he was in love with, but a different queen he's now trying to. So the guy, he just bounces from army to army and mercenary troop to mercenary troop in this book. Very war-centric, like I said. There's a lot of battles. There's nothing but non-stop battles. Sorcery, yes, in a lot of spots. Some witches and things like that come into his life. Always beautiful women. And it's just another great, addition to the Conan library that I've got here. And so I give Conan the Freebooter about a 9 out of 10.